Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, Internet. Yeah, I'm pushing buttons and trying to figure out how things work. My name is Todd, and we are live. Everybody's on screen. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We're
Hey,
back. We are SideQuest Live. We're playing some Dungeons and Dragons tonight, and we're going to be doing some Descent into Avernus / homebrew. Tonight might actually feel a little sneak preview. It might be a little more homebrew, sorta. We'll see.
I'm so excited.
I have some ideas. It's like the book left an opening. I'm just like, yes. Anyway, so my name is Todd. I'm the DM, and I'm everyone else. Let's go around the horn, meet everybody. We'll do a quick recap before we begin. So let's start over here with Gordon.
Hey, Gordon playing Fenris. And yeah, we are in some interesting times meeting was it a dark hag or something like that?
Night Hag.
Night Hag in Hell, in Avernus, yeah.
Yes. And navigating our way around. And we've come to some kind of agreement. And let's see where that takes us.
All right. Yeah, I love it. Let's go down over to Darcy here.
Hey, that's me. I'm second today. That's cool. Hi, I'm Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBits. I was just streaming before the show. Some Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Pretty
Nice.
good. Yeah.
I missed that one, unfortunately, but I was enjoying your other one. That was good times. Also, Darcy very kindly does the art for us, so I'm going to just splash that up on the screen for a second there.
Yeah, I need to take some time to re-up the lineup. It was always fun updating the big lineup art, and that's why some of the more recent art hasn't been in the same style, because it hasn't been trying to fit into that picture.
Yeah, man,
So
at least
it's been a
3 of the
little off.
people who were just on the screen there are now dead or missing, so that's an issue. I'm actually not joking. It was perfect timing. Oh, for some reason your screen is individual cameras are a little messed up, but that's all right. Yeah, you're gonna have to play the whole game off to the side like that. All right, let's keep going around the horn. Oh, sorry, who are you playing tonight?
I will be playing Henrietta Pedersen, the pacifist paladin of Palor, as I like to say.
I just love how tongue twistery that is. That's amazing. Yeah, all right. That brings us around to Bela.
Hey everybody, I'm Bela, and I play Darmita, our not so friendly neighborhood fallen Aasimar Gloomstalker. She's definitely a little out of sorts with where they are right now. Not sure Mad Maggie and her intention with somebody she has grown to care about, which is best for her. And before, that's my thing, but before I move on, can I say shout out?
Absolutely.
Our good buddy Gord and his very huge success. Over 60,000.
Hey man, that's amazing. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. 60,000 US.
Cheers, man. That's amazing. Let's jump back over to that for 1 second. Here, Gordon, you're up on the screen. Tell us about this thing that people can actually enjoy for themselves soon enough.
Yeah, we just completed a Kickstarter campaign, and we went in with a minimum of 20,000 US funding, and I was personally thinking anything over 50 is just amazing, and we just started rocketing by the end, and we actually hit 60,000 US, over 1,000 pledges, and it's just wonderful. The interest in the game is a lot. Yeah, stretch. So I've been working with the publisher on some of the stretch goals. We definitely hyped about launching it next year, and yeah, good times, a lot of great previews. And I think one thing that's interesting that is piquing people's interest, it's one of those games that on the surface it has an allure to it, and then when people start playing it, they get into the story, that's when it really starts to hook them, and they realize, okay,
trick.
That's the trick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you, Bela.
You guys have been working hard on that. So yes, and thank you, Bela, for reminding me. We almost missed that.
Well, I just have to say thank you to Kickstarter for whatever technical issue that they had, it allowed me to get in under the wire, and I believe it jumped quite a bit in that 12-hour period that they thought it was locked and ended up not being locked.
You
People
picked
were
a lock.
People were still adding, and so thank you Kickstarter for having some tech issues.
Yeah, thank you, Kickstarter. That was not planned. I think a lot of Europeans jumped on board like, oh, wait a minute, we can still get on board.
Well, then it's probably a time zone thing, right? If it's European issues. Who knows? Who knows? But yes, again, congratulations. That's awesome. And that brings us all the way around the horn over to talk about Carl.
Hey guys, Carl here. So I'll be playing Faluri, the Aarakocra, or a birdwoman shadow monk. Last episode came close to gaining ground on her prey, Sarnia there. However, assessing the odds, decided against pursuing and decided to follow the party instead in hopes of gaining some momentum and accomplishing mutual aims.
Absolutely.
So that's where we're at for.
Well, I mean, you've been alone in hell. You know what that felt like. The party didn't see it, but you were off on your own before they even found you. That's probably not an experience you want to repeat anytime too soon, but, you know, more on that later. Perhaps. All right. There are a couple of people who couldn't make it today. In particular, we're going to be talking about Archibald, the Duelist rogue, played by Jay, who is also our mini painter back when we used to do live nonsense instead of virtual nonsense. So we miss you, Jay, and hopefully we can get you again out soon. And don't forget, of course, another person or persons who are big in our game is you, Internet. You are not only the reason we're doing this. Well, actually, come on, let's be honest. We're playing because we love to play and play pretend and weave these stories and be these characters. But we love to share this with you, and we love to share your ideas. So please feel free to chat at us at any point. If you watch us for a little while on the live Twitch game, which if you're listening to this after the fact, it's Thursdays around 9:15, then you can actually join us live, influence the game, change, make some messages, say hey if you just want to say hey, but you can also spend some plot points, and you can do everything from name a thing to like throw in a plot twist, make a flashback. It's improv, right? So we'll do our best to make sense of it and weave it in. If we can't do it right away, I do put it in the queue and we'll bring it back as soon as we can. So that's the idea. So feel free to pipe up in the middle of the game and say hey. And I think that's about it. Does any other announcements or? All right. Well then, I guess we'll get right into it. Let's dive down into hell. We'll see you on the other side in just a few seconds. I know, it's very short. Yep, that's right. We're back. All right. Well, I think I've fixed the cameras now, so hopefully everything works. Oh, and I forgot to mention, just, you know, it was all clean. It was going to begin the game right now, but I did forget to mention we do podcast version and YouTube, so check us out if you want to check out the backstory. We're on episode 33, guys. 33, as the Francais says. So, yeah, this is getting epic. All right. The gravel crunches beneath your feet. You find yourself pacing forward slowly. The walls of a cavern stretching up on either side, dimly lit. The moisture in here and the mist is hanging low, clinging to the floor, your ankles and feet disappearing. The drip of the moisture off the walls, the crunch of the feet from your companions nearby. You have been walking and you almost forget for how long. The echoes in the cavern bouncing, causing an alarming kind of whispering sound at every swish, at every mutter, and the footfalls almost seem like it's not just yourselves in here. You have descended into the Cavern of Dreams. You remember, with effort, lying down in a circle just outside of the hag's small abode, carved into the side of the hill. And one by one, you drifted off, a terrifying concept, as this twisted 9-foot-tall hag stands in the middle. She would slowly approach one of you and bend down, her knees and long dragged robes brushing against you as she kneels down and presses. Sleep now. Sleep. And it will begin. You swear you would never fall asleep under that conditions, but something just pulled on you, just between the solar plexus, just as she stood up. And the next thing you remember, you're standing at the entrance to a cave. One by one, she did this disconcerting ritual of sorts over each of you. The small holliphant crumpled in the center of the circle, resting, sleeping somewhat peacefully, its small elephantine legs twitching, already off in a dream. You find yourselves back in this cavern, this time alone. The pathway is uneven and descending on a gentle slope, 30 degrees downwards, but seemingly never ending. Alternatively, every once in a while you turn your head and catch a glimpse of someone else, then forcing yourself to remember, oh, that's the Aasimar that came with you. Oh, okay. And there's Darmita's back, her bow slung, her arrows resting for the moment in her quiver. The clink of Henrietta's armor. The swish of footsteps. And then, alone again. At the end of the hall, after a very long time, you see a dim light ahead. The floor levels out. You must be... It feels like you've been at this for hours. You must be a mile underground by now. But no. You glance back up and can just see the pink and red hues, the orangish flicker of the dust roiling clouds of the hellscape above. Nighttime, but never changing. Only a couple of 100 yards back. You turn back, and you're on the threshold of a room. Narrow, long. Your companion's back at your side now, each stepping up in turn. It's about 25 feet wide. The ground obscured by fog, but the walls are kind of stone, alternating almost like a black marble with veins of white. Worked stone. As you look forward, there are gaps in the wall ahead, and then another on the left, and further on, almost beyond the line of sight, another gap on the left, and then another on the right, just barely within sight. You stand in a long hallway of sorts, almost as if it was made for an oversized being. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna take a look around, just see if I perceive anything, sense anything.
Sure, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay.
So are we all there?
It's strange.
Rolando is there as well, or not?
So, Lulu is nowhere in sight at the moment. She's resting peacefully up in the glade above, if you want to call it that.
Okay, because I was pretty sure I was swapping places with Lulando, and I was going to be up there.
Well, strictly speaking, you're all up there.
We're all up there? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I was trying to make sure I understood the situation.
Actually, Henrietta, you're out of curiosity, you're like, where's Lulu? You turn around and take a few steps, and you're suddenly back at the entrance to the cave. The 200 yards or so being passed in a heartbeat. You look out.
Right.
The rest of you, it's nothing, just an empty hall for a second. Then you see Henrietta appear next to you, having made a decision. You see her turn and mutter something about Lulu and take 4 steps that way and then just fade from view again. Henrietta, you're at the cave entrance looking out. All of you laid out on the ground. The hag standing in the middle. Standing probably about 10 feet from Lulu. Each of you about a ring of about 20 feet radius, and laid out in kind of a star-like pattern. All of you, including yourself, resting there. The hag, Mad Maggie, frowns for a second down at you and at your body, and then looks over at the cave entrance and turns to you and says, "Look, dear, we don't have all night. Can I help you with anything?" She's looking right at you. You're suddenly aware that in this light, you're almost translucent.
So, I mean, what were we told, right? I was under the impression I was going to be up there, and everyone else was leaving.
Ah, but you are up here. And she motions over to your body. You are all.
I mean, I was asking you, but that's fine.
If you needs must know, I am connecting you all, guiding you, bringing you, but where you go and how you fare, now that is something that is not, it is not up to me.
As long as you leave jugando tostando sananasum
You will see.
safe.
You will see
As
Lulu.
we agreed.
Of course. Lulu shall not be harmed. However, there are dangers in the dark. Things in dreams. Do be cautious.
Yeah, and I'll just nod at her at that, and I'll turn back.
You will see Lulu when the time is right. You may see more than that. Oh, and darling, be careful where you look, she says as you walk down. A few seconds later, back. Gordon, you've had a good look at the hall at this point. As you're kind of trying to take a good look around, you see, with your eyes being able to pierce most darkness, you see all the way down this long hall, and it stretches on beyond the edge of your sight, which is something like almost, 120 feet or something?
Yep.
And it's this really oddly beautiful, cool, damp hall, which is almost a relief after all you've spent almost a week or more in the hellscapes. The uncomfortableness of hell just bearing down upon you. You're kind of released from that. And at this point you look up and you notice the walls extend upwards about a good almost 20 feet up. But then they stop, and there's no ceiling either. And you see this vast expanse of this starscape stretching out. You don't recognize the sky, and you can almost, if you stare at it for too long, it's almost like the planets and the stars appear to come closer very quickly, and you give yourself a little head shake and look down, and they're back where they started. And there's this mist that hangs in the air, and it appears that there are doorways or archways. Now, your training calls to you here. There's something very familiar about some of these archways. They're not solid, but they're not unlike the things that you were told to watch for, these gates. And in fact, one of them in particular looks almost identical to a gate that you found when you were young, and your parents sat with you as you described it. You're pointing at it, and they're like whispering to you about what it is, and your father almost wanted to see it. Like, you could tell he wanted to see so bad, but he just had to make do with your description. And that one is the third one on the left.
I'll inspect it a little bit more closely. You saw what I rolled?
Is that a nat 20? Whoa,
Yeah,
damn.
26, that's what I did. Okay.
All right, so the third one on the left is this archway
Gemini
that is
_ twin
oddly familiar. Hey, Gemini.
said, "Careful looking between stars. There may be things traveling through the vast empty distance."
Abso-freaking-lutely Gemini. Actually, that's what the Aarakocra is busy doing for the moment, is just staring up at the sky. And you love to fly. You miss the open sky. You've been underground, and that whole trip down that tunnel was not fun for you. In fact, it reminded you of some terrible times. And once you're in here, you almost immediately noticed what Fenris picked up on, which was the sky almost to the exclusion of everything else. Valerie, you're staring, and you can see these stars moving and switching places a little bit very slowly. And you're panning your vision around and seeing up close these planets, these worlds. And then go ahead and do a wisdom saving throw for me, Valerie.
All right, 4, not 1
Oh,
on both.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want in this situation.
all
Love it.
right.
That was on both dice.
Valerie, you see these stars wink out for a second, and it catches your attention, this beautiful night sky. It reminds you a little bit of home. And then the stars split and open into these opalescent pools of reflected starlight, first one, then another. And they turn, and they're looking back at you. And then
These aren't stars.
it's these two massive eyes have opened up, and you go to kind of check yourself, and you realize you are nowhere near the ground at all. You're just floating in a starscape. And as at this second, you see this outline of black moving in the stars, just blotting them out a little bit as it passes. It's far away, but it's blocking stars. It must be absolutely humongous. and it has
nailed.
noticed you, and it is coming in your direction. Darmita, you
Can I go
see
invisible?
you see Darmita, you see Fenris walking forward a few steps, investigating the walls and looking in particular at all the gates, but a particular one, the third one down. We'll come back and do a little bit more with you there, Fenris. Don't worry. Henrietta, Darmita, you have noticed that your passive perception, you noticed that Henrietta disappeared for a little while and just now steps back out of the shadows of the entrance. And you look over at Fenris, and then you look for Valerie, and Valerie is nowhere to be seen. What do you want to do?
I see Fenris.
Yep, just a few steps down the hall.
I'm gonna just walk up. Is Darmita, or not Darmita?
Archibald?
No. Henrietta.
Mm-hmm.
Remember which character you were playing. So it's Henrietta, myself, Fenris, and Archie, right?
That's right. So it's the 5 of you.
So like they're with, but I can't see Valerie at the moment. So
No.
I'm just gonna, as quietly as I can, where I think they'll still hear me, kind of be like, this is some kind of trickery or something. Be on the watch, everybody. I think something's not good here.
But we're asleep.
And I can't hear or see them or anything, right?
Do a perception check for me, Valerie.
You probably get hearing.
Fuck's sakes. Sorry for those people listening, but
So that's
this is
another
ridiculous.
nat 1. That's 3 in a row, technically.
I guess I'm alone.
That's
No, I'm
statistically
definitely
unlikely.
alone.
You are absolutely alone in the dark, Valerie. You are gone. All right. You call out, and everyone else hears you. Archibald looks back at Darmina's like, right, love. Be on guard. Where the bloody are you?
And I get out my bow.
Okay. Archie draws his rapier. He's got his hand on the sunblade, but it's still it's like hanging off his belt for now.
Is there any kind of darkness here?
It's just shy of dim light. So the hall, like the entrance, you exited from this like cavern entrance into a hall that is dimly lit. Let's say dimly lit by basically starlight, but pretty bright starlight.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that what I normally would have for my abilities, I don't, because Henrietta just said we're asleep. So my guess is this is a bit of a dream state and things may not be the same as they normally are. So yeah, I'll just get my bow ready.
All right.
What were we told, right? Are we looking for the memory, or do we just have to go through a thing and that will allow her to find the memory or whatever? As far as we were told, I mean.
Okay. She didn't elaborate much, but she said she would guide you.
Okay.
Then I guess we just walk forward.
I suppose so. But now there's a choice.
So as you move forward, Valerie's still nowhere in sight. The third door on the left, as I mentioned, Fenris.
Yep.
It seems incredibly familiar to you. And then this is part of that nat 20. The first door on the left is this. It's actually a wooden door, cross-latched with these iron plates. But there's something a bit odd about it. It seems like there's this it seems like one of those gateway. It's got a little opening in the top of it, about eye level, that you can slide across, as though almost like a prisoner door, and then you could close it down, and there's another larger one down below. Everyone else seems to be a little bit spooked looking around, and you're the one walking through, like staring at these doors, taking them in. Opposite on the hall, you see a door that's made of, it appears to be made of this oak door, and it's rough-hewn, very rough, as though it was made in a hurry by not the greatest of carpenters. And it definitely looks homemade, set in this otherwise beautiful black marble wall.
You just described 3 doorways. The one that catches my eye, there was one that was familiar to me.
That one is an open archway with a roiling gray mist in the middle. Okay. It is, you recognize it at a glance. It is a waygate. Each one of these that you've seen about, well, now that you've used one, you've seen about 4 in your lifetime. 2 of them when you were a child. One of them not too long before you were captured and met Henrietta, just in the forest. And now this, and then the one that you went through underneath. That one was more formal, etched archway, whereas this one is almost like it's a gate suspended in the air, like a door frame with no door, with mostly translucent sides. Just, you can see through to the background. This one, you can see this roiling gray mist, just kind of almost calling to you. You hear these whispers as you get closer to it. There's another door further down on the right.
The first one on the left with the slots that look like they're closed. I'm going to cast Mage Hand. I'm going to make sure that I'm not right in front of it.
Sure.
But off to the side of it, and use Mage Hand to try to kind of push it open to see if it'll give.
So at this point, you're probably a good 30 feet from the entrance from the cavern where you entered, and you're now in between doors. You're almost opposite door 2, which is the rough-hewn door, the carpenter door, but the first door is still pretty close, so you kind of pause and step back, and you use Mage Hand to try to open
it? Yes.
Just the slat or the whole door?
The slats.
Okay.
The slat up top.
Your incorporeal hand appears next to it and starts tugging on it, and it slides with a loud scratching screech. Everyone hears this door. Even Valerie in the darkness, you're just like, what was that? This. Inside you see, well, it's hard to see from this angle. You see these iron set bars. There's probably 2 to 3 inches apart on the inside of this as you've slid it open to prevent arms from getting through easily. You pick up the smell of old straw and waste, stench of the unwashed.
And you say there's another slat lower, maybe to put food through or something like that?
It does seem that way, yeah. Okay.
I'll open that as well.
You slide that one open. This one again, scratching loudly on the ground. Valerie, you get a bit of a bead somewhere below you. There's this weird scratching noise. That thing is getting closer, but you glance around and try to go invisible, and it's just not working. And you're looking around for something to hide behind, and this thing has a massive maw and these weird tentacle-like things hanging down below its chin, and it's just almost like swimming through this abyss of stars. Meanwhile, the bottom one, you scratch it open, you can see these the mist kind of roils through, and you can just make out some cobblestones and a bit of straw. And then this grubby, unwashed hand kind of jolts out from underneath and goes, "Oi!" And then it retracts. You kind of just make out this humanoid face, just a little bit poking out, and then retract inside.
Okay, I am going to call out to the others and mention that these doors may lead to memories of Lulu, and maybe investigating them we can discover something.
Darmita, you've been continuing a little bit as you go. You see the hallway does stretch onwards beyond these initial 4 doors. You can see at least another 6 from where you're standing, stretching out in the hall.
I'm kind of, not comfortable with what's going on. Can I do my primeval awareness?
Sure. You want to be... What does that allow you to detect again?
I'm just putting it in the...
Best.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Roll 20. Let me go over there. Primeval awareness. You extend your senses and awareness out for 1 minute. Per level of the spell slot, you can sense within 1 or 6 miles aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiend, and undead. You extend your thoughts out.
Gemini_twin said, tempted to suggest that the monster is a star spawn from Thulhu Mythos book for 5e. But I wouldn't do that to you guys, yet. Smiley face.
Thanks, Gemini. I always trust that you guys will make the game much harder for my players. So I'll bank that one, although I'm unfamiliar with the Star Spawn, but I like the sound of
Probably
it.
an astral dreadnought or something even worse.
Yeah. We'll see. We shall see. So, Darmita, you extend your senses out, probing in the dark, and for a second, you get this reassuring sense of, oh, there's nothing. Just... And then you hear Fenris scratch the door open, and you're like... And for a heartbeat, you hear the scratching on the floor, and you sense... Is that... You sense... Not at that door, but other doors. You hear scratching and breathing and little thumps and subtle draggings of tails, and at each door there is something, and the more you think about it, the more your blips go. Hidden behind these doors are a vast array of a wild variety of creatures. You sense aberrations, you sense fae, you sense undead, and you definitely sense fiends. And for a second, you're just like, oh. And this little voice whispers in your mind, almost as if it's from far away. And it says, "My darling, be careful which doors you pick at. Here lies every dream and every nightmare you could possibly imagine. But who am I to tell you? Some of them are yours." You hear the hag's voice calling out from nowhere around you.
I'm gonna.
Did we all hear that, or just Darmita?
Just Darmita.
I'll tell them what I sensed and which doors,
Okay.
and then I'll also tell them that when I did what I did, she reached out to me and gave me that warning.
Sounds like we just keep going. We can't go any further.
Henrietta, I want you to do an intelligence, or either perception or straight int check for me.
Sure.
Your choice.
Okay. Do you want like perception based on intelligence?
No, let's do perception. Straight up perception.
Okay. Sure. Perception.
Don't pull a Carl. That's now a thing.
Hey, do you guys, anybody else feel this strange beast sensation that I'm feeling?
It'd be hilarious if that's where you are now. You're just dead. You're just like eaten by it. Anyway.
All right, I got my other character.
There you go. There you go. Always have a backup. All right, so 15 on the perception check. So you're looking at Fenris and you see his mage hand tugging on this, and your eyes catch on this door for a second, and you're just like, that looks oddly familiar. The door that he's just opened. And then you hear this voice call from inside, and this hand kind of and this grubby, just part of a face peeking out.
Did the door get opened, or was just the food slat?
Just the food slat and the top slat, and you see fingers at the bottom for a second, and you hear this voice call out. It's like, "Hello, are you there? Are you there? Hello, who's there?" You know this voice. Oh, you've heard that voice. You held him. You made sure he was safe. He waited on the boat for you before it all literally went to hell. What is Greg doing here?
They're just nightmares, right? Do I mean that they're just nightmares?
They're all of our nightmares.
All right.
They're dreams.
And dreams.
Well, I'm not sure if she wants us to open these and confront the nightmares, feed her the misery she wants, or if we just need to ignore them and find something in here. Maybe we just start by moving forward, and if we can't find anything, we can start opening doors then.
Well, she did say to be careful, but...
Hello? Is that you? Hen? Hen, is that you? Hen! You see the face press up against the little slat. Hen, you gotta get me out of here. Hey, where are we?
And I'm doing my best to just ignore it. I don't want to engage with it until I have to. Because I don't want to acknowledge that this is something that might be happening.
Hen, we looked for you. We don't know where you went. There was a crater. We barely got the Hen!
Fenris, can we go?
Let's go.
Sure.
All right.
And you can like see that she's rattled, but she's trying to just like, I'm not even gonna like tell the apparition that it's not real. I'm just gonna not acknowledge it. But she's like, breathing harder.
All right. You pass the prison door.
Yeah.
The second door on the right looks like rough-hewn wood. Again, there is something vaguely familiar about it, especially to Darmita. You walk on. I'm assuming. You pause. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I will. I'll focus on the door for a minute.
Okay.
If it's familiar.
It is definitely familiar. You moved around a lot. A lot. After your mother left, that's all your father would ever tell you. Your mother had to go. She left. He found work at this and that, but moving around with a young daughter and always on the move, always in some kind of trouble. You remember this cottage where you spent one summer, and it was probably the closest thing you had to a longer term home. And when you'd found it, the cottage was there, but it was pretty wrecked up. It hadn't been used in a while, and pretty abandoned. No proper windows, no proper door anymore. It had been kicked in and ransacked. But the rest of you, your father, and a couple of his friends who would be passing through, fixed it up a little bit. Your father made that door around the back while you played in the river. And the rest of the windows were just covered in, hides that you'd caught. You were an excellent hunter even back then. An excellent shot, far better than him, and so the hides covered the windows, but it wasn't big enough generally to cover the door. So he managed to put this wood door together from rough-hewn wood, bits of nails that he scavenged from the rest of the cabin. You remember that door. It even has, like, the etchings where you carved your name and his name into it. And there was a little spot you left in the little circle. There's your name and his name. And you always made sure to have a little spot left open just next to that. But you never put anything in there. It's probably not locked. You don't even know if it had a lock.
Yeah.
Your primeval awareness is still going. You don't sense it.
Yeah.
Distances are difficult down here, but there's nothing within the immediate vicinity of the door. Oh, and by the way, that thing calling after Hen, the one she called Greg, it didn't register on your... It seemed human.
I'm not going to tell her that. But I am going to ask them if they're by me.
They are.
First, I want to know, and I'm going to point to the area with the, like, my name and my dad's name and the space.
Yep. Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, sorry.
What
do you... There?
What do you guys see there? You see a door? It's got some carvings in it.
I think she pointed out the space between the two names.
Well, the two names in particular, if you guys could see it. You see Darmita in kind of badly carved, and below that, you see another name. I don't think we've ever named your father, Darmita. Internet? What's Darmita's father's name?
Come on, make it good, because you named my mom.
Yeah, you named Nishida was her mom's name. Her brigand of a father, sorta, did his best. So he needs a name, folks.
When?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It was
Nishida?
Yep, absolutely. So, you got another name in you there, Gemini? Anyway, you see that name. Whatever it
This one's
is.
for you. Suppose this door's yours.
Yeah, that's what I think. The other one was yours, your friend Greg.
When she says his name, it almost knocks the breath out of your lungs.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, Fenris, we need to find Valerie.
Eyes?
Oh, I
Cut
just
to
actually
that.
Probably just,
Yo, Finn.
I just probably just noticed now
Said.
that Valerie's gone.
McGregor the Fist Gregorius.
Apparently we've got Greg on the brain. McGregor the Fist Gregarious. All right. That's now canon.
Your last name been Gregarious this whole time?
Darmita Gregarious. No wonder she's so pissed off all the time. I am not.
Complete sense. Thank you, Gemini.
Oh, that was Yelfin, actually. Thank you, Yelfin.
Thank you, Yelfin.
So, Fenris, you see the name Darmita and you see the name McGregor.
Yeah. And hearing Darmita's words, I kind of look around and notice for the first time that Valerie's not with us because I was so focused on the doors.
Absolutely. Cut to Valerie for a second. You are flying as fast as your wings can take you. You don't know where, but just away from that thing. As it's getting closer, it's gaining on you, still gaining and gaining. It's really hard to judge distances here, but you are flying as fast as you can possibly go, and every once in a while you do your teleport thing just to gain a few extra. What's your 60 feet, right?
It's I think hold on, let me see.
Anyway,
It's 50 feet.
okay, so
Hey,
you're,
as long as I don't end up in a glass window from an office building, then I'm fine, all right?
do you want to make that canon? You got plot points too, buddy. All right. So
Sure, why not?
you slam into something as you're flying, like, and you slam into something almost invisible to you. You're padding along, and it's this concrete lip around this almost totally invisible glass that you could barely make out. Your full face is damaged. I'm gonna ask you to do a dexterity saving throw, please.
Finally. Nat 20.
All right, nat
you go.
20. All right, you only take half, so you take 5 bludgeoning damage as you slammed into this translucent pane in front of you, and you now just ever so slightly see the edge of this concrete stretching out, and you look down and you can just see it fading away into the darkness. It almost is like a little summons, a little almost translucent as it gets further and further away until it's nothing, just starscapes. And it's only about maybe 30 feet wide at this point. And the pane of glass that you slammed into, it actually has this crack running down it, but you can see through it. And just in behind you, this thing that used to be started out about the size of a house cat. As size is the only way you can judge how far it is. Then it became the size of a car. Pretty quick order. Now it's the size of a house, and it's still gaining on you. It is right, and its massive maw stretches open, and you're just like, if you stay where you are on this side of the glass, it is going to catch you.
And I'm not able or not allowed to go invisible.
Invisibility doesn't seem to be helping you, but you do have other tricks up your sleeve. This thick pane of glass is cracked in front of you. It's impeding your movement. What do you want to do?
I can't. So
You can see the other side. It's still this random starscape. It's as though just a little patch of a massive building is floating in this starscape, and you slammed into it without noticing, and it is now impeding your way. But you can see through it, or you can smash through it.
all right. So are we in dim light?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll use my bonus action to do what's it called? Hold on a sec. Shadow step.
All right. You
So
shadows.
I'll tell. I'll teleport 60 feet the other side.
All right, you just like pick a spot, and you just go blink, and just appear on the far side, the full distance away. And as you go, this massive maw, crunches down and shattering the window, tearing the chunks of concrete with it to smithereens just behind you. In fact, you can see a few feathers you left behind. You're now 50 feet away from something that is probably the better, like for our sake, it's probably the size of a low, actually probably a good 12, maybe 15-story building, and that's its head.
All right. And I can't notice anyone else or any exit route, any way down.
So you
Down,
turn
up.
Do a perception check for me.
Come on, better than last time. Not by much. 8. Fuck, man.
You look down and you see this archway. It's pretty far from you. It's probably about 70 feet from where you are right now. And you just see this archway. It looks like it's 70 feet down below you and not facing directly at you. You're almost from the side and you can just make it out. It is kind of a nice carved stone pillar. It's only about a foot thick from your perspective, and you can see it down there. And there's this beautiful light as you look down. You spot it, and this beautiful light is pouring through it. Whitish, kind of cool light coming through this archway.
Head towards the light.
All right. You start booking it for that as behind you the maw just crunches and the concrete slabs and cinder blocks are just falling away and the glass it's almost just an appetizer in this thing. One of the lazy tentacle eyes on its head just follows you down, just kind of tracking your motion as you go. All right, cut back to the group.
Help!
You guys are getting closer to, well, you're already even with that archway that Fenris found very familiar. It's a waygate of some kind.
Right.
I don't think Falura is just around here. It's like just vanished.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out.
That's the problem of
Falura.
a party member who's just constantly invisible. You're like, they're probably there.
Yeah, I am actually gonna. This is probably what my character would do. I'm gonna cast see invisibility, so I'm just gonna go and say something under my breath about invisible party mates, and start looking and calling out, Valerie, imagine yourself next to us.
Nice. All right, so
And I'm gonna look around.
you start looking around, and a couple of things happen at this point. You look around, you see another archway just beyond. It would be the fifth archway down the hall, and it is a stone archway, not like the one that you're in front of. The one you're in front of is kind of almost like a natural archway made of wood, but very shifty, and again, as I said, filled with this roiling mist. I seem to have misplaced my pencil. And there's another archway further down that is just a beautiful stone arch, and there's this nice breeze coming in from it. It is an open archway, and the marble changes, and you can just make out with the mist. Actually, with invisibility, you can see through the mist easy. And speaking of which, so the archway just past yours, we'll call that the fifth one. You see through the mist, you see this beautiful patterned tiles stretching out, and you can make out a couple of more archways and a skyline beyond, just from this particular angle. You then look back at the archway that was very familiar to you, and you can see through this mist. You can now see many people, many people, milling back and forth, standing not quite shoulder to shoulder, but it's a pretty crowded place, and moving slow. It's very dark there, and oddly, your eyes, they do adjust slightly, but you catch, women in shawls, kind of bundled up from the cold. You see some men with fur-lined cloaks kind of going about their day. You see some families passing by. You actually see a cart go by at one point. It's some kind of cityscape that... Go ahead and roll an intelligence check for me.
Okay. $17.
All right. You recognize this place. It's a city. Your family didn't spend much time there, so it took you a little while, but you remembered this one kind of bit over the river, and you see it. This was, I'm so terrible with names. Hey, internet, give me a name. Give me a name of a city where Fenris's family once would have hidden out. Something kind of biggish. Baldur's Gate-ish, if you will. We could call it that if you wanted to. Anyway, while that's waiting, you recognize this city, and your family didn't go to very many cities, but, if they had a good a place to stay, someone who vouched for them and would help keep them safe, then you could sometimes blend in with the anonymity of a larger city. And this was, you spent a lot of time in the wilds since then as well, and this was probably the last big city you went to. And it looks cold. There's snow and slush on the ground.
This looks like Raven's Crook.
There you go. Raven's Crook. I love it. I'm going to write that down. All right. It does. It looks exactly like Raven's Crook.
I'm going to glance just one more time for Valerie, see if I see her and the others, and then I'm going to actually investigate my gate, my door.
Sure. All right, so you start walking over there. As you glance around, you see Archie staring at a door almost opposite the fifth door, so we'll call that the fourth one. It's on the same side that Darmita's door was on, and but quite a bit further down, like a good 40 feet down. And he's just staring at it, tapping
Gemini
his
_
cane.
twin said, Gotham, he always struck me as the Batman wizard. But Raven's Crook is much better.
Raven's Crook.
Smiley face.
Nice. We'll keep it as Raven's Crook, but yeah, we'll definitely think Gotham, medieval Gotham. Absolutely. Thanks, Gemini.
And I don't know if I see Valerie, but I already called out.
Yeah,
and
you
I'm
called
going
out.
to-
And you see Archie tapping his cane, and like scratching his ass as he's looking at this one door, absentmindedly, just standing there in the middle of the hall, staring at this what looks like a regular door. It's got a glass kind of window in the top, and it's got some print it's like it's printed on the other side of it, but you can't read it from this side very well, at least not from the angle you're on, and he's just tapping it.
I'll just say, as actually I'm going to enter my door, just before I'm going to say, it looks like there's one for each of us. And I am going to check mine out.
All right.
Is there more hall?
Yeah, it continues on down the
Okay,
hall.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, there's absolutely, within easy sight, you can see another, at least another 4 or 5 doors.
So I'd probably say that, we can keep going. See if there's anything before we check anything else out.
I already checked out
as
my
Fenris
door.
already steps
Okay.
into this
Step
mist.
through.
All right.
Well, should probably follow him, I guess.
Yeah, I'll turn to Henrietta.
Valerie?
Hello?
Maybe she's not here.
Valerie, you hear a voice calling your name, but pretty far. You're now about 30 feet from this archway, and you are booking it hard. You hear, Valerie?
Do I notice which direction it comes from? Or
Oh, it's
approximately
coming
how
through
far
that
it
archway. Yeah.
is? Yeah, booking it
All right.
even harder, using the dash, whatever.
All right. Sorry to cut you off there, Henrietta. What were you going to do?
I mean, that was that. I mean, if there was anything that happened immediately, that would be great.
All right.
Otherwise, yeah, I think I'll just go and follow Fenris.
All right, so you get ready to go through. Darmita, what's your plan? You going to wait or join?
I'm gonna stand in front of Fenris's door.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to mine yet.
Okay.
And I'm can I see in, like, I know now that he and Henrietta have gone in there. Do I see them?
You can see them through this mist. There is still a roiling mist in the entryway, but you can definitely make out shapes on the other side. It's dimmer for you than it would be for Fenris with his spell up, but you can just make out it's some kind of urban landscape, and you can see Fenris and Henrietta just walked in. Archibald is still standing and staring about 20 feet away, and
Kind of turn to look at Archie and be like, hey.
Right.
It's time. This is the door we start with.
He takes his rapier and stabs it into the wood of the door that he's standing in front of, like just nice and hard, make it stick, and it reverberates soundly in his hand. He's just like, pulls it back. He's like, right, we'll have time for you later. Been meaning to make it.
We have plenty of time.
He sheathes his sword very quickly. Sorry?
I'm gonna look around and, like Fenris and Henrietta, I'm gonna be like, Valerie, now.
At which point, this bird comes, the Valerie comes tearing through this open archway, just almost into Archie, actually. He's directly across from Archibald, maybe 20 feet away, and just comes through at top speed. Archie has this second of recognition, and Valerie's not even looking in front, is looking behind at the thing that is chasing her, and the two of them just... go ahead and do a dex save for Archibald, Henrietta, and Darcy, and Valerie. Can you also do a dex save?
26.
Archibald literally does the whole like bull, not conquistador. He basically, Matador Toros, like, whoa, and just sidesteps this Valerie, and Valerie hits the ground, but rolls and just trying to scrub speed and ends up slamming right into the door that Archibald had stabbed just a few seconds ago. And you see that door burst open, but Valerie didn't have to go through it. You managed to stop yourself at the entrance to the door. Your feet kind of feet and wings splayed akimbo in the hall as you've landed in very unmonk-like fashion, but you didn't take any damage. And Archibald, and you are in the hall with at least two of your companions, and Archibald's just... Well, you do know how to make an entrance.
Archie, get in there, and I'm gonna reach down and grab Valerie.
Okay, you go running back, and Archie is standing, just staring into his door.
Is it open?
It is. Valerie slammed it open when she came tearing through the hall.
Archie.
Do a wisdom saving throw for Archie, please.
What is wisdom?
No time. Bad guy behind me. Let's go.
That's 15 unmodified. I don't know what his wisdom save is.
Probably not super high. At max,
But it's
plus
already
2.
15, so yeah.
It's pretty good. He kind of gives his head a shake.
Close it. Let's go.
He turns on his heel and looks at you and says, "Close it yourself, love. I'm going after." And he just walks through Fenris's door. Just you're left in the hall with Valerie helping Valerie up, and you risk a glance into his room, and there's this, it's beautiful oak floor. No, dark mahogany floor. And bookshelves lining the walls, and a large window looking out over some beautiful city. In the background, it's getting dark, but you got good vision. There's this large desk. It's a beautiful study of some kind. And the chair behind the desk is facing away. But you can just make out that there is somebody sitting in it, reading.
I'm just gonna grab the door, close it, and be like, of course, that would be his nightmare.
As you close it, you hear this just commanding kind of voice. "Archie, close the door. We shall speak later." Click. You close the door.
And I'm just gonna grab Valerie and not even say a word to her. I'm just gonna pull her toward the
Fenris's door. Yeah.
archway.
Okay. Valerie, as you go, you look through the door you came through, and it is a different landscape than what you left. You just get a slight glance, and it's not the starscape, it's somewhere else. It's some open doorway to, looks like some kind of very large room. But anyway, before you can really take it in, Darmita's dragged you through this roiling cloud and into a very cold place. You're all suddenly hit as soon as you walk through by the oppressive cold of the place. It's not unnaturally cold, but it's definitely winter where you are. You hear carts, you see people going by, and you're standing in a street. And Fenris, you're kind of standing a little bit further ahead. You've been in here a little while, and you're kind of peeking up. There's this stairway leading up to a door, and then next to it is a window, and you're kind of standing next to the stairwell, kind of looking up over into the window just to see what was in there. And it is as you remember it. Your family had you call him Uncle, and this was the place where you took refuge. He had welcomed you into the city and kept you here for safe in his building for quite some time. You had some good memories there, and you don't remember exactly what this particular time and place was, but it is definitely his house. You can see a small sitting room in front of you through the window. You see a little bit of movement through a doorway that, if you remember correctly, led to a hall, opposite which was a kitchen.
I'm going to want to mark down this kind of home, the exterior, the location in my memory, just in case when should we get back, I ever come around this place.
Yep. Well, what happened? And then you're trying to remember any of the details, and it was pretty long ago. And then you see this slight movement you're seeing it through sheer curtains, right? And at this point, the curtains get pulled back, and you kind of instinctively duck back, and this woman is tying back the curtain on one side. Her dress catches your attention. It's a familiar pattern. It's with a dark gray sash wrapped around the waist, but everything else was kind of this floral print. You're You're looking at your mother.
Fenris, what do you hope to find in here? It's not like this is even a memory. It's just a dream.
The curtain gets tied
Like,
back.
washing him.
She doesn't
Closing
appear
the
to have
distance.
noticed you staring in the window. It's like this high. Your chin would just clear the windowsill if it's standing full height. You see her tie back the curtains and call out. You can hear the muffled call of her voice from inside. She's talking to somebody inside. She walks away from the window. You can stay or you can go. You do remember that it's about 4 houses down, all of them kind of connected. Then there's an alleyway, and around back there was a garden. You spent a lot of time in that garden. Or there's the front door.
I'm just going to turn to Hen and say, sometimes in exploring our dreams and memories, we might learn something that might be useful. My family traveled through waygates, and there might be something that could be useful to us to get back.
You're
Anyways,
gonna unlock something in your own mind.
exactly.
All right, I could see value in that.
Or it could be nothing, but here we are. And I'm just going to start taking a look at, I'm going to go to the garden, and I'll be a bit discreet.
Okay.
I don't want to,
You can...
When he says, or it could be nothing, I just look at him and go, or it could be your worst nightmare. Do you know what that is yet?
it wouldn't be here. And I kind of give Henrietta a bit of a knowing look, like it wouldn't be here. And I just walk towards the garden.
All right, so you guys more or less stealth your way around the back, down this back alleyway. The walls back here are lower, only about a little above waist height. You remembered them as being much higher back when you were here, only about, if you remember correctly, 7, maybe 8 years old, maybe a bit older than that. You make your way around. You're pretty sure that this particular garden is it. There's these kind of arching stone walls on either side, slowly descending down from midway up to the roof, down to the waist high or so back gate. There is a gate made of wood, and it otherwise is a little bit snowy out on the ground. Back here, some of it's been trodden, but it's relatively there's a small tree inside the garden, a couple of hedges that haven't, just kind of mounds of snow on top of them.
Do I sense anyone there? Do I see anyone there?
Do a perception check for me.
11.
It seems pretty quiet. I mean, you're still a little shook up at having seen who you saw. And as you're peering over this gate, there's a slight rustle to your left, and you look down, and there's this small bush that was there, a little bit of snow mounded above it, and you just see this little black-haired head pop up from behind the bush, and it looks up and says, "Got ya!" Is this little kid, dark hair, pale skin, wrapped in this incredibly ridiculous scarf. And you lock eyes. These golden colored eyes staring back at you. And both of your jaws just go slack for a second. And you get this feeling like you're falling. And you just pitch over backwards. Henry, You're closest to him. You reach out to catch him, and you kind of steady him, and as you lay him down in the snow and behind this gate, you're all kind of clustered around, and Darmita has just come around the corner just behind Archibald, kind of looking back. I could pick a lot of pockets here. And then he turns and sees Fenris on the ground and Henrietta just leaning over him, Valerie kind of still catching her breath. And you all are looking down at Fenris in the snow, and then you look up, and there are no doors, there are no gates, there are no walls anymore. It's just snow and a few trees, and then a few more trees over there. You're no longer in the city.
Is the little boy still there?
You look, and the weird thing is there is a bush approximately where he had been hiding, and he's not there. But you do see some footsteps in the snow just behind it. Your tracking skills, you can see that there's fairly filled in footsteps leading to the bush. And then you see, as though spaced for running, leading away from this small bush, off into the snow. It is now coming down, and it's starting to come down pretty thick. Fenris, after that initial shock, you are now aware of yourself and able to move and all of that. Henrietta's grasping you, pulling you up.
I'll just stand up and brush myself off and give Henrietta a nod. And
the little footsteps recede off pretty much. I mean, take a quick bearing, Darmita. It's, east, northeast, some of that way.
Do you want to track him?
I don't know if I could spend a plot point.
Yeah.
But maybe I will. And so, in my mind, in my memory, it's hazy. But I think what I'd want to spend a plot point on is that there's something that I vaguely recall being here. This is important. There's something here that has a connection. And
all right.
Yeah, and so you can go with it how you want, but I'm not. I guess I'm doing this because I think there's a connection. And
absolutely. So
okay.
You remember not long after being at the city with your uncle, in the middle of the night, they made you pack up. You remember you forgot one of your toys there. You never saw it again. They ushered you out of the city in a wagon. You didn't even get to see the city. And your uncle had to keep going and not even slow down. The family just slipped off the cart in the night and began off-roading it from there. You remember that winters were always hard. This one was one of the worst. You have this memory of being in this dream, like you were being carried on your father's shoulder at one point, just against it, and walking through the pretty much waist-high snow at this point. And as you guys are walking, following these footsteps, you're kind of recalling all of this. And you remember having this strange experience of someone standing. At first you thought it was your uncle, right behind your father, looking up at you, and it says, "Wake up, wake up. Listen, they've been training you a long time. I can help. Shh. I will be there when you need me. You call me. You reach out. Eso desa reto." this almost shadowy, this shade of a face. You kind of wake up at those words, and you remember waking up at those words. It's this weird dual thing, and you find yourself muttering these words, and you say them out loud, actually, and the other people can hear them as you're walking through.
Iso desaritu.
Yeah, and a shade taught you your very first real spell. At this point, you hear the unsheathing of blades. You hear the baying of a dog. And at first it sounds like it's really far behind. All of you hear this. And at first it sounds very far behind, and then it's echoed by one in front. And then off to the left. And there's a loud thump. As the ground shakes, and even some branches around. It's a lightly wooded area. It is very snowy. And as you look up ahead, there's a man stepping out from behind a tree, a good 30 feet in front of you. You can all see this. And he's dressed in winter gear, a cloak over top of armor. His shoulders unusually bulky from the armor underneath. But even then, it's almost like you're looking at something that is even bigger than it should be. It's like you're looking at a full-size soldier, a knight of Pelor, stepping out from behind this tree. Except it's like you're all looking at it from the eyes of a child, from the perspective. It's bigger than would regularly be. It is large size. It lowers a crossbow in your direction. I think we can roll initiative.
Okay.
Bang.
All right, what do you got?
26.
Ain't no monkeying around. Damn. 26. Valerie. All right. Anybody beat that? 26.
13.
Oh, Henrietta with Archie's 25. You've got Henrietta at 22. You people are just ready to kick some butt. You've just been waiting. All right, Darmita at 19. And Gordon at 13. Oh, that is so appropriate. All right. So as this soldier lowers this ridiculously large crossbow in the direction of the party, you also hear the baying of some kind of hounds directly off to your left. There's at least one hound there. There's at least two somewhere behind you as well, just so you're aware of the situation a little bit around. You're in a bit of a thicket, a bit of a clearing in a very snowy landscape. So let me see if I don't know if I have a map for this, but even if we don't, we'll just theater of the mind it. All right. Oh, here we go. I've got a random battle map just so we can track who's where.
Oh, random.
Rando. Came out of the rando. Just pretend it's all snowy, folks. All right, so top of the order.
We only need relative position anyway.
It's true. Top of the order. Go ahead and place yourselves kind of in the middle there, wherever you like.
Alright, hold on. How does one...
You should
bring
just
the
be able to
token?
drag your face over to the screen, and it should be there.
Yeah, grab the text though, not your face.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
The journal tab, yeah.
Journal tab. Okay. I'm not so...
I'm trying to find my standard situation here, but oh, here we go. Here we go. We're in business.
Trying to move, not working.
That's a funny looking wolf, I'll tell you.
Yeah. You feel like, I don't know, it's like hold down Alt or something, it won't snap to the grid.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I got it.
So where is that bad guy?
That's a great question. Just
I'll be here with the rest.
Yeah, you should be able to upload a different image if you want to use the new one. I can't.
All right, the first bad guy is pretty much directly in front of you, as you can see there. And the sounds, I placed the little doggies or wolves where approximately you heard the sounds.
And this guy's size large?
Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Okay, so probably we've got Fenris and Henry
Hey, internet,
closest,
you might as well
and
be able to
then
see the map too, so I'll switch that around. There you go.
the rest of you moved back. Probably wouldn't be this close to each other. Something like here-ish, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you would have been a little spread out. Yep.
And maybe Fenris, you're at night by me, and everyone else is a bit far back. Something like that, maybe.
I like it where it is. Fellery, where do you want to be? What do you want to do?
I want to go straight for the fucker. I mean, the person in front of us.
Well, you look at it, and it looks at, it's got a crossbow, unlike in the image, and yeah, go for it. You can get right up in his grill.
Right ahead.
Technically, there is
Okay.
a tree just beside you, but you know,
Okay.
it's fine. You're good where you are.
All right. So I take it nobody wants
That's the
peaceful
tree he
resolution to this.
stood beside, just the base of it.
Oh yes, okay. So all right. So I'll attack twice with my action.
All right. You glance at Fenris just to get an idea, and he just did his thing, and you go ahead and roll.
That's the first attack. That's not that great.
Shame.
Nope. You just go to hit, and literally that just clangs off the large shield that this oversized ruffian is carrying with
All
a
right.
10.
Second attack for the action.
25 does hit. All right.
And I'll spend a key point for. Yeah, I know, for stunning strike.
Absolutely. I just need a pencil. Where did I put? All
Probably
right.
like shouting over to Fenris, like, looks like we just got sidetracked. Is there anything else you still want to do here?
Absolutely. You call that out, and he can answer or not.
I don't
Yeah,
answer.
Yeah.
So the damage was for 6
Okay. And
for the hit, and for the stunning strike,
I'll
it's
make
a
the roll.
con saving throw.
What's the DC?
15.
All right. Rolled a 7, and you're just like, yeah, and then it looks down at you, totally unstunned. It's very Connie, and it is not stunned by your strike. As you bing it off it's got a helmet on, and you ding it really hard off the helmet. You kind of have to. Well, you're a bird person. You can kind of fly yourself up and swing, and so you're pretty much eye level with this thing, and it just rings its bell, and you expect it to be stunned, and you see these eyes just glare at you. It is human underneath, but oversized.
All right. So as a key point, as bonus action, I'll do flurry of blows.
Sure.
So 2 more attacks. No, probably not.
Nope. Again, it just raises the shield, and you're batting against it, and it almost pushes you back into the tree with the shield. Not moving you, but ooh, the 22 works though.
All right. And I'll spend another key point, do another stunning strike.
All right. It's raised its shield high, and that's what you wanted. You just stop your wings from flying, and you just drop down low, and boom, aim for the codpiece.
So 5 damage for
Nice.
the hit.
Resounding clang as you make contact through the cloth and the cloth layers and the overcloak that would keep it warm in this awful weather. Bang, right in the codpiece, and they'll make the roll. Ooh, a 2. Even with the con, not gonna make it. Ooh! He drops down onto one knee, clutching at its damaged groin, unable to take action as it is stunned. Nicely done. All right, coming up next, we have Archibald. Archie's gonna turn. Well, what do you think? Who wants to take it?
I mean, he seemed to be buying into these nightmares, so I think he's probably just gonna close distance and attack, right?
The same guy, or the sound off to the left, or one of the doggies?
The sound, like, are we seeing actual dogs?
Well, you know from that direction that there are these things, and as he looks left, you see another one of these guys kind of pop around the corner. This one carrying a crossbow and trying to keep distance, aiming towards the party.
Sure, yeah. I mean, whatever you think they're gonna take, go for it. If one's closest, like, you know, if he doesn't have to waste a bonus action to clear, then that would be ideal.
That's fine. This thing does have a dog. It is actually, I'm gonna make it a slightly oversized doggy too, just because it's Nightmareville.
You think so, right? Yeah.
That's more nightmarish, right? So basically, there's at least 1 or 2 of these pretty big dogs. They would be considered almost large. And
Question, Todd. Would Feluri know that we're in an, altered or nightmare situation, or is it just?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're all pretty aware you're in the weird realm. There's just enough weirdness too, like every once in a while something really out of place will happen. But anyway, you don't have time to take that in right now. So what's Archie gonna do? I'm guessing Darcy.
Sure. He'll close distance to something. Let's do. So you can probably just get to the dog.
Sure.
And we keep describing him with his rapier, which I guess he picked one up somewhere along the
He
lines.
did. He's actually got quite a swanky rapier you don't remember seeing him carrying before.
Yeah, and so I don't know if he's prefer to use that than the Sunblade. I don't know. But
he's probably going to try it out.
All right, cool. In that case, he'll engage and attack. Now, I think that the sheet I've been using has been assuming that he was spending his levels up on Rogue.
No,
otherwise.
He used his levels up on Fighter, actually. 3 points of Fighter.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm not super sure what the differences are.
Oh, I see.
This is alternate reality Archie, where he's a level 10 rogue. Are we level 11 or 10?
11 now.
11.
Right. Anyway. So I don't know.
All right.
Okay, I only have a macro for Sunblade, apparently.
All right, he uses his Sunblade. He's not messing around.
And his sneak attack, as long as no one else is within 5 feet of Archie, right? Not
right.
Within
exactly.
Target, so he should still get it.
Yeah, he still gets his sneak attack. He's soloing the thing there.
Yeah, so if you want to make any changes to the roll I made based off of the other weapon, that's...
No, it's fine. You know what? Just for sake of reference, he lights up his Sunblade, and the whole place is now nicely lit by sunlight coming off of this fancy light sword that he carries. And he stabs at the wolfie and definitely hits.
I mean, yeah, I think that it makes sense to be the rapier. I just don't have the stats for it, that's all.
I know, but that's okay. We'll just carry on with it as if it is the Sunblade for now.
Cool.
There will be a change later.
Minimal radius, which I think is like 10, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
Spurs light for, to be courteous to the allies. So that's 22 damage.
Nice. That's not bad at all. I'm just looking up the
Since
stats
we're using the
here.
Sunblade, that means his bonus action is gone. So while he can disengage for free because of Swashbuckler, he can't hide.
Right.
Which
Okay.
would be hard to do anyway because he's got a Sunblade.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, that's fine. So he will hide. I don't have that in front of me, so I'm just going to randomly pick. Okay, there we go.
You can probably get to like over
So he disengages.
here again or something.
Yeah,
you know,
it
take it too much
definitely,
farther.
like, that dog just, it's a pretty shaggy looking, terrifying hound, but he just gives it this gash from almost the rear hip all the way up to the chin, and it is badly damaged. And the person who was holding it lets go. All right, by its rope, and lets go, and the dog is just furious and snapping. All right, let's keep moving. That was Archie. Come on down with Henrietta.
All right. So I'm saying something like, this should be over as soon as we want it to be. What else do you have to do here? But I will run up and engage this knight, and
Sure.
I will grab him and pull him to the ground.
Sure, go for it. And you
So
can
I'm
grapple.
going to make a grapple,
Yep.
and I have 2 attacks. And my second one, after succeeding, is intended to be a shove. I mean, this is the intent of the action, right?
Are you trained in grappling? Like, is that a feat of yours?
I'm trained in athletics, which is what you use for grappling.
I know, but unfortunately,
I don't have the grappler feat. No.
Okay, I was wondering because then you can grapple things that are larger than you.
You always can. You just can't grapple things 2 sizes larger.
Something like that. I'm gonna rule it as it has advantage and you don't, just based on the size difference.
I got a 30.
Whoa, that's a lot. With advantage. Hold on. I rolled a 20, so that might not work out too great for you. That's going to be.
We'll find out.
That's a 29. All right. This massive knight
Yeah.
underestimates you
Legs,
and
pull
just
it
gets
down.
swept and
So we
thump.
make a second one to knock it to the ground, and then the intent is that I'm holding it prone, so that it has to stay prone before it can break the grapple.
Absolutely. So you basically have it. I'm gonna.
So I
yeah.
have 25 to knock it down, but even if I fail this, I'm still maintaining the grapple.
Yeah, you absolutely throw it to the ground. It totally underestimated you, and you kind of looked at you as you came up. He's like, "What are you gonna do, little?"
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
And I'm just looking to Fenris like, what do you want to do?
All right, Darmita. What do you want to do?
Well, what I had originally planned to do just got sidebarred. So,
Sorry,
not-
on disadvantage.
yeah.
There are plenty of our other targets in the sea.
There are. So, I'm going to turn my attention over here.
Okay.
I'm going to bonus action Hunter's Mark him
Absolutely.
and take my first attack.
You look at this oversized Knight of Pelor, one of the ruffian types, not a paladin or anything, and he's raising this massive crossbow. It looks like it's a heavy crossbow and then some, and it's starting to raise it up as you release a shot with a 29. That's a hit.
All right, I'm just gonna do all my shots.
Yeah.
just out of the way. Second one is 19.
That is a hit, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, it is. Just. Well, not just, but did make it.
For 3,
Check.
so
And a 20. So all 3 hit.
so I'm gonna roll all 3 of my because I believe that's only my hit dice, so I'm gonna roll 3 hunter's marks. So okay, let's start doing some math.
17,
Yeah.
28, and 10 is 38.
You also get a D8,
Oh, yeah.
don't you? Because it's your third attack. Yeah.
38.
43.
That's 43. Just almost faster than you can like blink. These arrows are just like thunk, 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 striking true. The massive knight stumbles back a step, but is still standing, these arrows sticking out of its chest almost comically.
I just turn and look at Fenris and just kind of take a step back and kind of go, we're screwed. Like, do something. This is your nightmare.
All right. And it is now, it would be Fenris, except he's still a little bit flat-footed as he's remembering that night all of a sudden. It's like, oh yeah, we fled into the forest. We were pursued. We were attacked. We evaded them. They didn't catch us, though. But I was so afraid of them catching us. And here they are. They're bigger than you could have imagined back then. Or I guess as big as you imagined back then. And you almost don't really want to think about what's after. All right, that's all you can think as the one behind charges forward. And the one over here releases the dog, which comes running in at you and comes charging forward. But this one has to spend 2 moves to get there, so it's out of move. This one here, the one coming from the due east, but the one coming up from behind, from the south, is able to clear the distance, and as are the 2 hounds as they come running up. The dog goes after the disengaging Archibald. Doesn't go after Darmita there, but the big guy from the south takes a lumbering swing at Darmita. 2 of them, actually. Does a 20 hit your AC?
Yeah.
And what about a 19?
Yep.
Okay, that's gonna hurt a little. So each of these long sword swings, it's almost great, like they are basically great swords, but wielded one-handed as these oversized knights. They're essentially giants stats, almost. So you take 20 damage from each slash of the longsword. Interesting fact, the damage is psychic, by the way.
Of course it is.
Is that 20 total or 40?
40 total. Okay, the other large one can't attack, and neither can its hound as it goes running up and just snarling next to Darmita as she flinches away from the longsword-wielding maniac to the south. The other one is barreling down on, and since it's spent its movement, he's actually gonna, it spent its action to dash, so it's actually gonna try and get around behind Fenris there, blocking you off from Henrietta. And that's its turn. This wolf does the large hound, dire hound, if you will, attacks Archibald from behind, rolling a 2 as he just instantly just deftly sidesteps it as it leaps down at him, and he kind of kicks it without any damage and says, "Bad dog." All right, now it's Fenris's turn. Oh, sorry, the big guy does get a turn with the crossbow and fires at Archie as well. Rolling that's going to be a 25, so that hits. And Archie takes 20 damage from crossbow bolt slamming into him. He can use evasion for half if he wants, or whatever it is.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of dodge, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
From which guy is, sorry?
That was from the one on the west side.
Okay.
The one that has taken a lot of damage.
Also has crossbow. Okay.
At that point, the dog that Archibald had slashed up so badly turns and runs away. Off into the woods, never to be seen again. He scared the crap out of it, almost just shredding it in a shot. Okay. Coming up next, Fenris.
Oh. Okay. Seeing that giant of a thing just lay into Are they still considered humanoid?
They are considered humanoid, yes. Essentially, they're giant stats.
Right, but they're not giants because that's not a humanoid.
Oh, that's
the
true.
distinction.
Oh, I
What
see
do you
what you mean. Yeah, I'll do it as a hybrid because they're also humans.
Because they're humans,
just,
we're just
they're
children,
just
right?
oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Seeing what just happened, I am going to use my bonus action to summon Woofy.
Mm-hmm. Your own hound of ill omen.
Yes. On you.
Go Woofy.
On me.
On
Oh,
the guy
God.
the guy that just laid into the guy that just laid into Darmita.
All right, absolutely.
And I am now going to cast Hold Person at 3rd level on the one behind me and the one facing Darmita.
Okay. What's
So
the DC?
The DC is 17, Wisdom save, and the one that's with Darmita rolls a disadvantage.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I was
So-
going to say the one with Darmita got a crit. So this next roll is for it. Ooh, 17 is the DC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one with Darmita manages to pass. The other one is held. I'll just put the little net on it to be sure. All right. And so that's your bonus action. And you do have a move if you want it.
I do, and I am going to get some distance.
Oh, the one near you is held. So the wolf
yeah.
technically is... Oh, sorry, not the wolf. The hound is technically within range. For,
okay.
But only just.
It's just large, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I am not going to move.
Okay. Coming up next. Top of the order, Valerie.
Just gonna roll initiative for the hound.
Yes, please.
So I just, what do you guys want me to do? Keep on this guy or come and help? Or what are we doing? Are we staying and fighting or?
Yeah, I'll say to Pelori, none of this is real, but until they believe it, gotta get them out of here.
So keep hammering?
Fenris, are we going? This person's fine. Go help them.
Henrietta's just busy
All right.
holding down this large thing like, I've got this.
Okay, so I'll go to the one.
I'll just say, come help Darmita.
So this one here?
Yep, you
Or-
literally leap into the air and fly over and I, land right behind it, all monk style.
Yeah.
As much as I can with my, yeah. Okay, so that person's held. Is there any advantage or disadvantage?
I'll say
Right back.
flanking for you,
flanking.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not actually held. That failed on them, but do have the flanking advantage.
yeah. So you
All
do
right,
have
so-
advantage.
All right, I'll use my 2 attacks on my action. First one. No.
Hold on, 16 is the
Yeah.
just about, not quite.
All right. So
First
second
one clangs against armor. You're like, ah. It's wearing some kind of plate underneath all that. Oh, second one hits with a 24.
All right, and I'll use a key point to. I'll roll for damage first.
Sure.
So that's 7. And I'll use a key point to do stunning strike.
All right, that's fair. You only just declared it, so I'll roll again in case. All right, so 7 damage, and this one is currently unharmed, and rolled a 7. And what's the DC again?
15.
15. It is tough as balls, man. It's got a lot of cons, so unfortunately,
All right,
the
well,
stunning
repeat
strike
the
does
same
not
action.
take. All right.
So I'm doing a key point to do flurry blows. So 2 other attacks. 20.
Oh, hit. With a 26.
Okay, so that's one. That's the first hit, and the damage on that one is 8.
Nice.
Then I'll do another hit. The second hit.
23 hits.
Okay. Damage on that one is 4, but I'll spend a key point and do stunning strike again.
Nice. Ooh, that's gonna bring it to a 19. Sorry, buddy.
Carl, just be aware of your stunning strikes. You're gonna blow through too much key points if they have +8 con.
Yeah, you know what? I'm monitoring my key points.
You're beating him down. He's definitely taking some damage, but it is a beast. The one that you initially, with Darmita's mark on it, is looking pretty hurt. Bleeding pretty badly. Struggling to reload the crossbow. Alright, that's Valerie. Archibald. On deck is Henrietta.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into Archie's head. I feel like he just thinks this is like a real fight, right? Like,
It seems pretty real.
As real as anything.
Yeah, it definitely hurt when he got shot.
I think what he would do is he would stare down the one that he's like looking at and try to intimidate them while gutting the hound next to him.
Oh, he doesn't even
Just be like,
doesn't even
he just
look at the
looks
wolf.
This guy and just like, you dead meat, son. I'm coming for you next. And just into the guy. Yeah.
He literally takes the second to throw off his wig and lands in the snow, and he just guts this hound.
He's got like he has expertise in intimidation, right?
Yeah.
Like he's just like.
All right, so roll the attack on the wolf first, and then or the hound. It's a hound, sorry, and we'll take it from there. 21 hits.
38 damage.
Oh, it is dead. he just grabs it like he's gonna pet it, and then and then he's got a wolf's head in his hand. He holds it up, or a hound's head in his hands, holding it by the long floppy ears, holds it up towards the one that shot at him, drops it, and then aims his sword at it. It's gonna have to go ahead and roll an intimidation check, or what would that be? Persuasion? No. Is intimidation a thing?
Intimidation.
Yeah. Roll intimidation.
Yeah, I don't think I have the sheet giving the increased, so it's. I think it's like an extra 4 on top of that.
Yeah, so 22 versus the 3 that the other guy rolled. This
I'm pretty sure he has
badly damaged.
In that.
Yeah, this badly damaged one sees Archie do this and is like, I must tell me, lord. Ostrin must know. And he turns and starts running the other way.
And I'll say that's a bonus action, so I'll just,
taking Darmita's hunter's mark with him as he moves a full. Well, I can't put him on the map, but he's a full 30. Well, it's not his turn yet. So anyway, we'll keep going. That's what's going to happen though. All right.
Sorry again.
It's all good. Henrietta, your turn. Darmita, you're on deck.
So this one near me is actually paralyzed. Okay. It's only 30 feet. I could drag this with me if I wanted to. Did they not have a turn, actually? Because I don't remember them trying to break the grapple.
Oh, that's true.
He can't. He's stunned.
Yeah,
not that one. The one that I'm holding.
The one that you're
that
holding
one.
is stunned.
That one was did get stunned, I
sweet.
think.
It's until the end of this turn.
To the end of this turn. So yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
No, I
mark
didn't realize
that.
you stunned him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool. I will maintain that, and I do think I want to get a little closer. Yeah, so I'll drag 5 feet or so. So he comes with me, or they do. And I only technically need the one arm for the grapple. While I am holding a shield, I can probably have limited mobility with it.
You have enough movement. You could close. if you wanted to. You could go pretty much right up behind this one. If I think it's half movement, right?
Yeah, I could do that. I'm not super concerned with the paralyzed one right now. What I'm going to do instead is, I guess I see them bearing down on Darmita, mostly. And I'm going to call out, hold faith, just keep focused on getting through. And I'll say a short hymn and cast Shield of Faith, which is a bonus action on her. And then I will also, as a standard action, continue the short hymn that I am playing, which technically the spell doesn't have verbal components, but whatever. And sort of like a dark fog envelops the hound, but only really covering the head because it's too big. Now that I think about the spell, so it's probably not going to actually do anything now that I think about it. But oh well, that was what I was planning on doing before I realized the geometry of the situation.
Sure.
So you have +2 AC, Darmita, and I've cast Minor Illusion to effectively blind it until it leaves the 5-foot cube that the smoke is in.
All right. Yeah, I like it. Always
like
obscuring its vision.
Yeah, that's the intent.
All right, there you go. Darmita, you're up.
I guess the actual right thing to do would be to cast it on Darmita so they can't see her. So yeah, I'll do that instead. Cool. Can I change that?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, so yeah, so this is like mist forms over top of Darmita, and she can see out of it fine, but if you look in, it's just like pitch dark.
Actually, something else happens when you do that. She fades from view.
Shit.
I mean, she does, because
she's
an
invisible.
opaque wall in front of her.
Well, I mean, within that, she is invisible as well.
I don't think illusion can technically make darkness, but, whatever.
Yeah, I'll give it to her. It is night. It's
yeah, I mean,
pretty
she
late.
is considered an unseen attacker in this situation, right?
Absolutely.
She cannot be seen.
All right.
Okay, so
Darmita.
I don't think now I can do what I was gonna do, because they can't see me. I think they have to see me.
You can step out of it. They can't see you, so they can't make opportunity attacks.
Right. True.
Yeah, I'm just a huge pain today.
Fenris, you are coming up after the soldiers, but Darmita's turn.
My apologies.
No worries.
I think, yeah, you know what? I mean, well, no, I haven't really worked with Henrietta before, so I don't know what this is probably, but I'm just gonna, can I step toward Archie? Like, what the heck?
You can absolutely try. It's going to get a disadvantage perception check to see if it notices you move that.
You know, if I'm like completely honest, it's probably the opposite. It's probably like a blinding light that appears around you instead. Because I'm not Shadow with the affinity. Yeah.
If you would, I would say, why don't you cast it on the face and eyes? There is a precedent for that.
And not in this edition. I do actually have the light spell, but that's not what this is, right? It's
right.
Just like an illusion that appears to be like, I can't see into this. It's pure light, right? Yeah. That's the idea.
There. It's on that square. So it still has disadvantage on its perception to see you leave, which is only a 5 plus not a lot. So that's a 6 to notice you're moving. It doesn't see you move. It's a little distracted by this haze, this glowing haze in front of it. Darmita, you are free and clear. Oh, the wolf does get a swing at you though, an unimpeded.
That's why I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to cover her so that that she's covered from everything.
Yeah. All right, well, it's too late. Let's go.
It's too late because the
It's
GM
too
said I
late.
did something I didn't.
It's too late to finagle too much.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
All right, Con.
Minor Illusion is not a terribly powerful spell, so even if it is in that spot, the wolf the wolf, or the hound noticed her leave, and takes a swing at her. Ooh, not very good one though. Does a 13 hit your AC?
No.
All right, so you're fine. The hound snaps at you as you leave.
That didn't hit. It wouldn't hit me. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
So okay.
Now what's up?
I'm going to. I guess then. I'm gonna do another 2 attacks on him, as he's trying to run.
Yep. Make your rolls.
I mean, he's got my. You know how I feel about my hunter's mark.
Give me that back.
That's her attitude. Give me that back, bitch.
Both hit, an 18 and a 24.
All right, so that's 18 plus
23. Boom.
another 23.
23? Oh, drops in the snow. Just, I must tell Alstrin, we found the...
And I'm just going to be like, and I'll take that back, thank you.
All right.
And I get a bonus action, because I did use one. So I will go ahead and cast my hunter's mark onto, oh god, how do I...
The one that hit you a lot, or one of the other ones?
Yeah, I've got a little, I'm a little pissed with him.
That's fair. All right. Hunter's mark is moved. At this point, it notices where you went. All right. Next up, them. All right. Having seen you do that, it growls at you in this snarl, but then, all right, it's gonna try to follow you, the one that you just hunter's marked. So that means the Hound of Ill-Omen and Valerie get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, you
Hound probably doesn't.
Oh, right, the Hound probably doesn't.
All right, I will roll.
Yes.
Oh, nice. 21 hits.
For 7 damage.
Do you have Sentinel or anything, or no?
No.
Well,
Okay.
if it stuns. Wink.
And the Hound of Ill-Omen doesn't?
I don't know if it gets its own.
Isn't he?
Well, I didn't leave the threatened area.
That's true. It only needed to shift around the Hound, but Valerie got a shot. That's fair.
Okay.
So, all right. Takes a good kidney punch on the way out and stumbles a bit, but is still intent on tracking down and beating Darmita down. Meanwhile, the Hound that it was holding on a leash, it lets go, and that thing goes after Fenris. Not great. Does a 12 hit your AC?
No.
All right, so you're fine as it snaps at you and you just sidestep it. All right. So as I punch my microphone, sorry folks. All right, the one behind you, Fenris, is stunned. The one that is with Henrietta is also stunned. Wait, no, still stunned because it's until Valerie's turn, right? All right, so it's just the one that's going after Darmita, and it gets 2 swings. Probably a 13 misses your AC. And what about a 24?
That, I believe, will hit. I think I'm a 19 now.
Yeah, and that will do 20 slashing, well, psychic damage to you as its massive sword just clips your leg. All right. I believe that is it for their turn. Coming up next is Fenris. On deck, Valerie.
So just to be clear, the one that I've held does get to do a wisdom saving
Oh,
throw.
thank you for reminding me. Oh, not great.
17.
They rolled a 9, so nope.
Okay, still
Still held.
Okay. I am going to, if I cast Firebolt, I'm within 5 feet, right?
Of the...
Of the one that's held.
Yes.
Okay. And it's at advantage, but also disadvantage because I'm within 5 feet of someone? Or...
Yeah, it'd be a straight shot.
Straight shot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to Firebolt them.
Okay. Now, which one are you attacking? The one going after
The one that
Darmita?
I've held.
The one that you've held. All right.
The one that's paralyzed.
So that'll be a straight shot.
Because if I hit him, it's crit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh, not good. 13.
That is not going to hit.
Okay.
The
I'm
firebolt
going-
slams into his cloak, but the thick fur that it's wearing for warmth, it smolders in there, but it doesn't quite catch. Its cloak might eventually catch on fire from that shot, but it doesn't hit it.
Okay. And I'm going to spend 2 sorcery points. And I am going to quicken spell Blight
Nice.
on the one that's chasing Darmita.
All right.
So he gets to do a con saving throw at disadvantage because of the Hound of
The
Ill.
hound is still on him. So that'll be the 6 plus 8 is
Is 14. So he fails. So I just, with one hand, firebolt, kind of missed. Other hand, I just make shadow into a wolf's head that engulfs the one chasing Darmita. And
Nice.
he will take a d8.
Damn.
8d8.
And I'm
best
going
D8.
to, not great, but I'm going to spend my my empower
Yeah.
to re-roll the 3 2s, the 1, and one of the 3s. So I'm
Sure.
going to keep 2 6s and a 3, and I'm going to re-roll 5d8.
15 plus.
Yeah,
What's that?
15 plus, whatever he's gonna roll.
Oof.
12, 15 plus 27, so 42.
42 points of damage as it goes swinging at Darmita, misses the first one, catches her on the backswing, raises it up, and the sword falls from its grip behind it as it swings down, and its arms just rot away to bone, and the finger knuckles and all the phalange bones all fall disconnected, and as the sinew even eats away, and the arms just rot all the way down each shoulder, and then the head starts to go, and in a few seconds the whole thing is just a pile of rotting flesh laying in the snow, and cloak and pile of metal as well. It is done.
Goodbye, Wolfie.
All right. Coming up next, Archibald.
Archie or me?
I'm actually gonna move.
Oh, sorry,
Since
Valerie
the wolf-
next. Sorry.
Sorry, just gonna move away.
Take
The-
an attack of opportunity.
No, he doesn't.
Did he already
Neither
do
of them,
that?
because the wolf already used his reaction.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
That's true. Yep.
There you go.
Oh yeah, making that attack he wasn't allowed to make. Okay, I remember now. Wink.
Minor illusion, man. They can still see through it somewhat.
I mean, no, you have to take an action to do that. It says right in the description. I'm just being pedantic. Go ahead.
All right, Valerie.
All right, move right close to him.
To attack at advantage.
Again, just leaps up in the air and then comes down next to him.
All right, so rolling for the first hit, that will have advantage.
The first
All your
kick as you
hits.
go across.
All your hits have advantage.
All of them. All right.
All
so,
of them have advantage, and they do crit.
18 hits.
Okay, and the damage is 11.
They crit, right? So
So double the dice or double the damage?
You double the die. What's the die you're rolling? D8?
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll another d8.
Another D8.
Well, the opposite. So a total of 15.
15. Clang as you hit this. Your foot collides with it as you come down, and just this side kick as you touch down next to this thing. Next shot.
All right. Next hit.
That's a 1.
So that is a nat 20.
Ooh, go ahead and roll it. It's already a crit, so.
Well, you know. So that's 5 plus 11, so 16.
All right.
No. You have to roll a D8.
Oh yeah, you
I
just the
noticed that last
d8.
time.
Oh well,
Yeah.
we'll keep
Previous
that
one was a
15
1,
earlier.
But it's whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just roll a.
slash roll 1D8.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I can
that's
use
that's
real
my
anyway.
that's my normal dice though.
Yeah,
So
but
if I crit,
You don't double the dex bonus that you would get on that, just the actual dice.
Yeah. So if you
Oh,
hover over
okay.
the 11, you can see that you rolled an 8 plus 3. So
got it. All right.
it's 8.
okay,
Yeah.
so then just take 8. Just take
Okay,
8.
we'll take the 8 then. All right. Oh, that is two very solid hits on this thing.
And then I'm using my bonus action to do an unarmed strike.
Absolutely, go for it. Still with advantage.
Nice. 19.
All right, that is a hit.
So now I'm gonna roll the dice and just count the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can even see it if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, you can just do it again. And...
So that'd be a total of 13.
Total 13.
13,
Nice.
Okay, nice. You really...
Oh, that's a lot of damage in one round. Still
And no key
standing,
points.
locked in its place, unable to move. Suddenly questioning its life choices. All right, next up, we're going with Archibald.
Yeah, I mean, fight seems like it's still going on. What do you think? Is he going to take out the dog or the paralyzed person? Probably the paralyzed person, right?
He's kind of a bastard. He might go after the dog.
Well, I don't get to decide that.
Here's
so
the
he's gonna want to be
puppy I
somewhere
never
that's-
got to have.
Sure, why not? Come up behind this weird illusion and get up unawares.
Yeah, literally sneaks up behind it. I know he gets murder strike or whatever it is, a sneak attack anyway, being a duelist rogue, but we'll say he snuck up behind the illusion and then poked out.
Yeah. How do you hide a sunblade? Hide behind a wall of light.
Absolutely. Boom. 32 damage. Wow, that dog just gets eviscerated. Just puts it in and circles around it and cuts the dog in half. And
I will
literally
reiterate
says,
that these are,
that's for the dog I'd never go
slightly
to have.
different than if it was actually Archie's actual stats, because I don't have his actual.
Close enough for now.
This is a equivalently leveled rogue.
Yeah.
Like,
Bonus action still left, or a bit more movement? Probably is about 5, maybe 10 feet of movement. Let's say 10.
I think he's just gonna try and even though this guy's paralyzed, he's gonna slowly walk up to him,
Nice.
start being
Just
intimidating, swinging the blade.
flicks the light blade and all this dog blood splatters all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. That is Archie style for sure. All right.
So it's intimidate, but it doesn't do anything because he's paralyzed.
Exactly. Henrietta, it is now your turn.
I just want to talk to people, but there's not really time right now.
You're still dragging the one knight.
Yeah, I
along
just dragged
with
him a
you.
little closer so I could cast a spell. I'll turn off the minor illusion, but I think I'm just sort of sitting there. I'm almost squatting now at this point with just kind of my arm on this guy, and I'm just looking around, just are y'all just fighting for fun now? Tell me when you're done, and I'm just gonna stay there.
Archibald calls out, "Is there any other kind?"
so I'm just not doing anything.
Why are we doing this?
All right. That was Henrietta. Darmita.
All right. I'm just gonna kind of turn and look at Fenris and Archie and just kind of be like, whoa. And then I'm going to bonus action Hunter's Mark.
Absolutely.
A lot of damage.
And it's crit, so if I hit,
Yep, make your rolls. And it's standing, too. It's not even... It's just held in place by Fenris.
yeah. So
Isn't it weird that it doesn't work on range? Wild.
Oof. And yet, the first shot misses.
no, it. Hold on. I have an ability now, level 11, that I can. I'm pretty good at what I do.
Yep.
And so if I miss, one time a turn, I can re-roll.
Yeah.
Stalker's Fury.
Can you do me a favor and roll a d6 before you do it, though?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. The arrow goes right in between, just missing Valerie, and sticks in this tree back here. All right, you get your next shot. Actually, your new feat shot thing.
Yeah.
Because it's an ability.
It's a feature.
A feature. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's a feature. But it's a normal roll, so.
Okay.
And that's a crit.
Nice.
A crit on a crit. Yikes.
It's not a crit otherwise.
And so, and then I get to crit my Hunter's Mark.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So 18, 19, 20, 25 for that.
25, yeah.
25. Wow.
I think he's pretty much dust.
Yeah,
My
that actually, that did it.
That did it.
Just the first shot missed. The second one takes it right in the space of the helm, and it's just standing there. The blood is pooling. A life has left its eyes,
All right, and I'm just gonna kind of.
and its body is just starting to twitch, but it's still locked, held. Its muscles still in place.
And I will
Longest
take
stone ever.
my second attack on the remaining.
Absolutely. Now this is at disadvantage technically because it's on the ground.
Oh, okay.
It's 22.
It would have been a straight roll.
Still a
which
22.
makes
This
That's advantage.
This one is... Yeah, it would have been a straight roll. That's true.
Why?
Well, no, because it's on the ground, but it's grappled.
Yeah, he's not
Oh.
stunned anymore. So yeah.
I could take the 22. No
Yeah.
biggie.
Okay, 22 hits.
And then I will roll the additional.
Now, you didn't have time to
He
move
doesn't
the
have Hunter's
hunters,
Mark.
unfortunately.
Right.
That's okay.
you're
It
right.
just won't count. That's okay.
I totally forgot that I hadn't moved it. So, 8.
8 damage. Nice. Oof. Oof. You're there. Yikes. Okay. Next up, Darmita. That's them. And this one tries to wrestle free from... it's no longer stunned. Just took an arrow. Henrietta's kind of sitting on him, sort of. And he's going to try to break that grapple. And
Can I try to read his intent?
you...
If he's trying to run, I'm just gonna let him go. If he's trying to like lunge at these people and attack them, then I'll.
You look him in the eyes and take a read of him, and for just a second, you see a familiar face. You remember... there's something really familiar about this soldier's face, like an oversized, overswollen version of this person you once drank with in some kind of one of the cities you trained in. Nothing particularly pressing, but you're just like, whoa. And the look on his face is just like, gotta get away.
Yeah. I'll let him go.
You let him go, and he scrambles to his feet and looks at you, and he's like,
I don't look at him.
Ostrin will hear of this. And he starts running this way, ducking behind the trees and running off as far as he can. It is now, so that's, he does double movement just, so it gets a full 60 away. Still can be seen. Oh, no, sorry, half. Sorry, 45, because it took half his movement to get up. But then dashed.
Also, it's an action to break the grapple.
But you let him go.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah, so we'll split the difference. He used his bonus action for all that talking. All right, next up is
I'm just like looking
Fenris.
at, between everyone here.
Actually, this one, Fenris, he goes running off, and you go to take a look, and as you drop, I'm assuming you're dropping concentration on your whole person?
Oh, isn't that person dead?
Yes.
The person's dead, yeah.
So then yes.
The corpse just thump, thump into the dirt, and then you look after the one that's running away, and you go to look after him and take care of him, and then there's this little shudder in your mind, and this voice calls out to you from apparently nowhere and says, "Yes, but you won't hit this one, will you? This one gets away. This one may be the one who told Ostrin. It's hard, but you'll never really know. Did this one tell? Or was it the innkeeper? Or was it someone else? You can never really know for sure.
I block it out, the rest of it.
All right, by the time...
With ring of shielding and...
Yeah, oh yeah. It just, as soon as you remember you've got that ring, it just shunts out of your mind. And by the time you look up, though, that soldier has gone and can't be seen anymore.
Okay. I'm
sorry, guys. We haven't had a break. I totally blasted through all that. My bad.
No problem.
We do have
Why do you want to go?
We could keep going a little bit longer, or we could take a little break and go a little shorter. So it's your call.
Are you guys good for a break and to go a little longer, or do you guys want to call it after a little bit?
I could use a little break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. All right, so with that, the soldier runs off. Perhaps the one that told Ostrin where your family was. Who knows? You are all trapped in a dreamscape. The landscape shifts again. And we'll find out...
Looking at everyone, across his arms.
And we will find out exactly what it shifts to when we come back from our little break. Thanks very much. Don't forget internet. Let me just give everybody else a little break there. I'll just go to my camera. So internet, if you have a minute, you're welcome to make some suggestions for our episode title. This is Psychos Live. We're going to just take probably about a 8-minute break, and we'll be right back. It won't go too much longer. All right, see you in a few. Really need to label this break. Wait, no, there we go. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. I don't even know whose voice this is anymore. That's my generic bad guy number 4.
Archie.
Is that Archie? I always think of Archibald as a little bit more swaggery.
Archie moves around, but yeah, swaggery. That's a good way to put it.
Swagger. All right, let's come back. Hey, Internet, you've heard us for a little bit. We are Psychos Live, and we're just coming off a little bit of a dreamscape break. We're going to dive right back in for a short time, and then we'll get some sleep. So, you have just sent the soldiers packing, one of them making good his escape, as the rest of you are standing in this snow-blasted landscape. And as this voice, you all did hear that voice of the hag, by the way.
Oh, it wasn't clear now.
And it And as it speaks, a bit of a blizzard kicks up around you, and the snow kind of swirls, obscuring the landscape, letting the soldier escape, casting doubt on who really was responsible. And then as it clears, you see just off to the right and down, descending maybe 100 feet, maybe 200 feet, you can see a small building. A series of buildings, actually. There's a couple there, and kind of a lower section. You can hear the burbling of an unfrozen river nearby. You can see some slushy paths through this landscape leading to and from this what looks like a nice, warm, inviting place with a kind of a longer, stretched out patio, casting lights from nice, warm firelight flickering in the windows, the roof piled high with snow. It wasn't there just a few minutes ago. Fenris, you recognize this place on sight. This is the inn. This is the inn of the Sow. Your family had been offered respite here. What do you want to do?
Of course. Then I turned to the others. This is the inn,
Archibald looks at it, he's like, "Oh, it's a Sow.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God somebody dreamed somewhere a little bit half decent. Drinks are on me, folks. Or at least whoever I can pick a pocket. Let's go." He eagerly goes sauntering forward, and he knows the Sow, but he doesn't know it the way you know it.
I turned to the others. I don't think necessarily that we're going to find too much more here.
Even with your passive perception, at 100 feet out, you hear the scream.
Yeah.
Your mother's scream. From the second floor. A few seconds later, you hear muffled shouts. And all of you hear this other voice echo around you and says, "Oh, come on. Let's have a little look." At which point the world kind of goes a little topsy-turvy for a second, and you are all now, all of you, almost irrationally, packed shoulder to shoulder underneath a bed. The dust on the floor, some dust bunnies and the creaking. You're peeking out. You look over at Fenris, and he now is his own. How old were you at that time? 11?
Yeah, 11, 12, yeah.
Yeah. And you look over, and he is at that age, looking out. You can make out boots, and you hear some raised calling voices and thump thump of a body hitting the ground. You see a woman. You saw her briefly before in Ravenscrook. Her throat slit, her eyes looking forward, locking with Fenris. Booted feet are visible. Some shouts. Another body hits the ground. An older man. "He's here somewhere. We'll find him." And they start tossing the room and the bed. You see a mailed fist reach down and grab the bed and start lifting it up. And then next to the Fenris boy laying on the ground, just kind of staring at it, trying to summon as much cynicism as you can, even then. And this voice, not the hags, speaks to you, the shade and the words. Say the words. Say the words. Say the words.
Say the words.
The bed gets tossed aside, and these 3 soldiers reach down, looming larger. The room is now irrationally tall, and these soldiers are twice as big as you saw than the ones you saw before, reaching down towards all of you. Their hands able to easily encompass you if they grab you. And as Fenris whispers the words, these shadows just come up out of the floorboards like so much smoke and envelop all of you and just and pull you down through the floorboards, and you feel this searing pain as you pass through, and you're shunted out of this world and blink over 5 feet above the ground outside the inn and go thump thump and land in the snow. Some of you gracefully, some of you not so much. Now that wasn't so bad, was it?
Better be a point to this.
You turn around and you see the hag standing there in the snow. Is there a point to any cruelty? Each of you may be worth quite a bit more than I gave you credit for. Allow me to help you. And she waves her hand and the scene just dissolves. And you see, as it fades away, you see Lulu sitting in this rainbow-colored floor, and you look around and color comes seeping out of the whiteness that was the blizzard, and you are now surrounded by these multicolored clouds, and everything has this almost unreal brightness and crispness to it. You are someplace absolutely filled with bright light and love and comfort and joy, and laying in the middle of this is this little holliphant. And the hag walks over and says, Lulu, unharmed, as we agreed. And the hag nods at Henrietta. So, this is where it has been resting. This is what it wants to dream. Now, far be it from me to force it to go deeper. I'll leave that to you. A kind word or not, wake your little friend.
I promised you my memories. Nothing more.
Well
I
then.
don't know what you did with Fenris and with Archie and with Darmita's minds. That wasn't part of the arrangement. Digging up their trauma.
More of an art form than a science, my dear. And besides, aren't we having fun?
I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to protect people.
Oh. Well then, if you wish to volunteer, let's see how well you have protected people. And she reaches this long, bony finger out towards you, and even though she's a good 15 feet away, you feel a small scratch on your forehead. And this little drop of blood just pools on your brow and falls and hits the rainbow-colored snow. And it just, when it hits, it's just destruction. And it just tears through the snow, and it starts to spread outwards in this band of fire and smoldering ash, and all of you suddenly starts to crumble and shift. Everyone do a dexterity saving throw, please, as the ground begins to give way beneath you.
Cool.
19.
Oh yeah, you would probably do this with advantage anyway.
19.
Then 24.
And if you want Archie to make one too.
Yes,
you can
please.
roll that.
All right. Everyone except Fenris managed to make their save as the ground gives away and you fall.
Can I swoop down and grab Fenris?
You can certainly try as we now fall into a new place.
Okay, so would it be what? Athletics?
Yep.
Who do you want to grab?
Fenris.
Yep, you managed to catch Fenris before he falls. You grasp his hand. Yep, that works. You grasp his hand just as he has gone over the edge. The rest of you manage to catch yourselves. You find yourselves landing on top of seats, and uncomfortable as it is, you manage to land without damage. It's like you just fell into this place. Wooden seats clatter around a little bit, and right near this railing, this ornate railing, and an edge that drops away a good maybe 40 feet, and Fenris has gone over that edge, and Valerie just flies down and catches him before he can fall down, and just your wings keeping you aloft. And you take 1 second as you breathe in and look around. You're in the high hall of El Terrell, but not like anything most of you have seen. It is undamaged. It is complete. The high hall of Pelor in El Terrell. And as you look down, you see Henrietta walking in below you. Henrietta, you, Hen, are up in the balcony observing this. You go walking in, having a conversation, and you can see your grandfather, and you remember this conversation. Look, I sympathize, but I don't have much sway in the council anymore. I guess he'd probably be Scottish, right?
Sure. Whatever.
I see. I don't have much sway with the council anymore. I can get them together, but I don't think Varric will agree. I mean, I've seen them taking it too far, as much as you. But Ostrin's got them wrapped around his little finger. What did you say back, Henrietta?
I don't really know what's going on in this conversation.
Okay, just a bit of recap. You had approached your grandfather to trying to just find out why the Eye of Pelor has been doing such awful things. And so after having...
Because my assumption is that I came here to make sure my parents were okay, first and foremost. Then once I know that, you go, okay, something is wrong in Church of Pelor, what are we going to do about it, right?
Right.
So...
Sorry, your father, not your grandfather.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I misspoke, yeah.
So
you traveled up after you escaped from before.
I'm like, hey, what's going on with this Eye of Pelor stuff? Ostrin's gone too far, right? And
that was his response.
That doesn't have much sway.
I mean, there are a few that owe me a few favors. We can see what we can do, but I mean,
we're sworn to Pelor, not to Ostrin, right?
He casts a glance towards the altar, which is beautiful.
I mean, I don't go against orders, but when they're the wrong orders,
All right. I mean, at the very least, we can expunge your record and see that you and your friends are situated well. If they come looking or try to take you, I think I can buy you some time if you need to leave, but I think you did the right thing in coming here to...
I just wanted to make sure they weren't coming after you.
No,
It's not the right way of going about things. I know that.
Well,
I didn't know if they were going to try and silence you too.
you'll find your old ass not quite so easily silenced, but
Yeah.
look, I'll make some inquiries. We're gonna have a council soon anyway, so it is good to see you. You came to the right place. We'll get this cleared up. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding.
It's not about me. It's not about me.
Right, but you can't fix it if you're in jail, so we'll explain. We'll make it clear that you weren't meant to be swept up in any of this. Besides that, maybe we can do something about the rounding up of people that I've heard about. I mean, you're right. It's gone too far. Look, I've got to go. Make yourself comfortable. I'll get you a room. Stay there. And we'll talk again soon.
All right. It's good to see you're safe, Dad.
Good to see you too. We've got a lot of catching up to do. And I did want to tell you something. But it can wait. He walks away. He heads off to the council chambers. The Henrietta on the ground that you're watching turns and walks with an acolyte's help. You recognize Farah, actually, guiding you up to guest quarters. And your father went off to the council chambers. Within the hour, Elturel fell. Massive meteorites slamming into the council chamber, into the high hall, into parts of Elturel, sundering the city. Even now, as you look through these beautiful stained glass windows, you can see the companion orb glowing this bright, yellowish, whitish haze hanging above the city, a blessing from Pellar and Ostrin and the Eye of Pellar.
So this is what you were up to. I say to Henry next to me, while all these people were being rounded up back at Salem Rock, you came here. But it was us. And I nod to Henrietta. We're the ones that took care of Ostrin.
Yes, Ostrin took me into the prison when I let you escape, as he put it. Didn't take too long to figure out there was something corrupt going on. So I made my way here.
Well, good timing.
You look up and the orb above the city just has this little flicker of kind of a whitish blue lightning. And with that, I think we're gonna pause, and we'll come back to this next week and see what's going on in Henrietta's memories, perhaps, and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, baby.
And get attacked right at the end.
Roll for initiative. No, all right. Thanks very much for everybody for
Bertus said. Suspense at.
Suspense ad. It is suspensey. All right, thanks very much, everybody, for watching. And we're welcome to have some name suggestions. I think we had some from the players at one point.
Yeah. What was it? Hag's Feast?
The Hag's Feast.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough to beat. Internet, you're welcome to add that. I like 2 titles, but Hag's Feast is pretty on point. All right, well, thanks again. Thanks for playing, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Today was a bit of a different one. We took a little detour out of hell for a bit, and we'll go from there. So we'll see you next week, hopefully Thursday at around, if the timing works, 9:15. I think I have some work stuff coming up, but I'll try to work around it. So we'll be in touch. Watch the Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. And thanks for watching. Glad you could join us, Bertez, Gemini, Yofan, and everybody else, and those listening on the podcast version. Thanks very much, Great Britain. You're representing last time this week. Kind of bumped up a bit. I know you love the Shadowruns, but we'll come back to that too. Speaking of Shadowruns, I do want to do that in the next couple of weeks as well. Crack that open if we get the chance. So thanks very much for joining us, guys. And yeah, I think that's it. Any parting words?
Stay sane, people.
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay sane.
Gemini_twin said, "Good night all."
Good night, Gemini. Thanks.
Smiley face.
Thanks for jumping in. And don't forget to check out Gemini and Yaofan and everybody when they do their streams. And Darcy with his vampire game. So check that out. And we are Psychos Live. We'll see you next week. Cheers. You've been listening to SideQuest Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons & Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games, and again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon. No, I just did want to say that there was something about what the shade that taught you the blink spell was saying, that it's a little piece of a puzzle. So even if you don't remember the exact wording...
What do you say again? Then I'll write it down. Why not?
Honestly, I didn't write it down, so...
Legit, as soon as you said it, I was like, that was so deliberate sounding that I wanted to clip it live.
Nice.
I'll do it later.
Well,
Yeah,
we can clip it live and or clip it later. Thank you, Darcy. And yeah, that's a little piece of something for later. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to put that in there just to help illustrate some points.
It's different than how I remembered it, because the way I remembered it was actually a wolf, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That shepherded me out. So that's a little bit different. Okay.
Both very shadowy creatures, but this was a little more instructive. All right, so that might be a piece of a puzzle later on. Words just broke, so I'm gonna go. All right, piece of the puzzle.